So Wings of Redemption has gotten himself into some trouble recently, and I just thought that it was really odd. Wings of Redemption is someone who's just been on a very long downward spiral, and it looks like he's really reached the bottom of the bowl as of right now. And I'll get into exactly why later on. I'm sure most of the people who are watching know who he is, but for those who don't, he's a guy who streams video games, catches a lot of flack for basically begging for money, pulling a DSP, Vader V, Bad Bunny, whoever you want to bring up. Now, a part of the reason why Wings has had so much relevance for so long on the internet is because a lot of people like to troll him. Pretty much the same as DSP, the detractors. It's the trolls with Wings of Redemption. Basically, people who have almost built up careers on YouTube or over on Twitch, even though not quite as much, just posting clips of Wings of Redemption and making fun of him. Like, that's all they'll do. And they'll build these huge followings of people who also don't like Wings of Redemption. But the thing that I wanted to talk about today in regards to Wings of Redemption is the fact that he might just be gone from the internet. So, as I said, he's a streamer, and he's not allowed to stream on YouTube for 90 days and 7 days on Twitch, even though apparently there's been talks about him having an indefinite ban on Twitch, which is something that you've definitely got to be worried about if you're Wings of Redemption. Like, oh, I might not be able to pay my rent this month because I can't stream on any platform. And he apparently can't keep a job because he posts where he works, and then people are like, oh, okay, we're just going to figure out a way to get you fired from your job. I don't know why I was about to say arrested. And I came across this very interesting screenshot in a video from Grimsy, where one of the troll channels that has a lot of subscribers, like over 30,000. I'm guessing this is a description, and they said, after a month of starting a war and trying to ban the trolls, Wings has managed to get copy striked off on YouTube and received a community guideline strike on Twitch. He was unable to stream for 90 days on YouTube and 7 days on Twitch. Then his wife created a Twitch channel of her own, but shares the same IP address as her husband. This means anyone who reports the account for ban evasion will succeed once Twitch realizes both accounts share the same IP. We warned you, Richard. We told you not to start this war because you will never win. Look at where your false strikes have gotten you. Welcome to ban world, pimp. Population Jew. Consequences have actions, pimp. I was going to make a joke about him saying consequences have actions, but I stumbled through reading that twice, so I'm just going to leave that alone because I don't want to get called out for my own hypocrisy. Now, a really interesting thing on the internet, and I've heard a ton of people say this, and I'm going to paraphrase. A thing that you really can't do is feed into the trolls by being like, oh man, this really affects me. Like, I can't believe that people say this. Like, this is the worst thing ever. This is really negatively affecting me. Because a lot of times, when people are trolling you, they really want to get a rise out of you. Like, that's the main reason why they do anything, okay? The reason they put TNT in the house that you spent 20 hours on in Minecraft was to get a rise out of you. The reason they spawn camped you and threw a grenade at you and lowered your KD was to get a rise out of you. The only reason that people attack Wings as much as they do is because of the fact that they want to get a rise out of him, and a lot of times they do. That's what makes these trolls channels so successful, is the fact that he keeps feeding into this stuff, and it's almost like he can't even help it. He just feels like, oh, I got to say something, okay? And it's gotten to the point where people will sell shirts of the slogan that he is always using, where he says, look here, listen, or something like that. Because he says it when he's mad at what somebody's either saying in chat or whatever, right? And he honestly seems like somebody who isn't in very well control of himself, even though I phrased that really weird. Basically, he just doesn't have self-control. Like, what really started his downfall was the fact that he got so angry over the fact that he was losing a Modern Warfare match, and it got recorded that he yelled at a bunch of his friends. And then after the match, he was so embarrassed about publicly losing after he talked a bunch of trash that he went to the guy in DMs and was like, hey, I'll pay you if you lose publicly to me. And then the message just got posted because like, no, I'm not going to do that. And he got roasted. The pure, plain and simple. And he lost a lot of credibility. And ever since, he's just been going viral for all these embarrassing things. I remember back during quarantine, he got made fun of a ton because he was begging for money, and that was during the time where literally pretty much every streamer was begging for money. It seemed like there was that whole Invader V stuff like I brought up earlier. Amanda Cerny was begging for money, which makes no sense because she's a multi-millionaire. And Wings also was begging. He was like, if I'm going to play these games, I'm going to need some more support or something like that. Just ridiculous off the wall stuff. Just not being appreciative of the fact that people were taking time out of their day to watch what he was doing, irregardless of how much money he was making. Like the fact that he had fans that were willing to go, oh, okay, I'm going to go watch a Wing stream today. Alright, maybe I don't have money, but you know what? I'm going to go into a side tangent if I talk about that anymore. Another time he went viral is because he asked his wife to tell the chat how big his member was. And I'm not joking. I'm not going to show the clip here because it's stupid and cringy, and I didn't even want to go watch it again to edit it in. I'll link it if you really want to go look at it. It'll be in the description, but it was just bad, and she didn't want to go along with it because, like, why do you want to tell the world how big your member is? Who are you trying to impress, genuinely? And even though the way she was told by his wife, like, hey, we're gonna go out for something, and he was just like, oh, I'm gonna play video games, and then like you can hear her crying off screen. It's just really uncomfortable and really bad. So he's been like accused of mistreating his wife, and it was just really horrible. Now, the reason that all of this stuff isn't gonna be like a big story where people like work to help him out is because of one of the worst things that he ever went viral for, and that was his surgery scandal. So allegedly he needed gastric bypass surgery or weight loss surgery. It's one of the two. And he got all this money raised for him. So many people gave him money. It was like, hey, Wings, I want you to live. I want to spend money on you. I want to help you out. And he got this new car, got all this cool stuff. And then allegedly, he says, went down to Mexico and got this really shady sounding surgery. And it was just this weird drama where everyone was like, why wouldn't you just get a good surgery here and not get some car and all this random crap? It's just a waste of your money and time. And then he had these friends. Some of them were on the PKA podcast, which is actually how I found them. And they would just hang out with the guy, and they were really good to him. And he ended up screwing them over. And they all just abandoned him pretty much because he screwed them over. And those were like his last friends, like the last people that would even care about him. So he's like reached out to them and been like, hey, like I'm getting attacked, I'm getting false flagged, and they're not answering him because he screwed them over. Examples I've seen of making your bed and then having to lie in it, really. Like, I honestly feel bad for him because it's very clear that he's not like the smartest person in the world, right? And he obviously has her effectively just bad communication errors and issues, like just a ton of stuff. But unfortunately, he made a bed and now he has to lie in it. And that part, I just can't find it within myself to be like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. Because your choices led to this and it sucks. I know I would hate it if a bunch of people made careers after just making fun of me. I'd be like, oh man, that I really don't like that. But there's nothing you can really do other than turn your life around. And Wings, if you by some weird coincidence end up watching this video, I want to say that I don't harbor any hate against you at all, genuinely. I think that you should change, and you could change and you should change. And I think it would be best for you to do that and just apologize to people and be upfront about the money stuff and just stop embarrassing yourself. Really, don't dance for money. That's something else like that he's done. It's really just sucks to see like a person that was once really popular having to degrade themselves genuinely in any way. It sucks to see anyone degraded, but it's just weird to see somebody who could have been so popular just sink so low to where they have to do the Irish jig for $5 or whatever it was. It's just a sucky situation, really. Alright, that wraps up everything I have to say about the situation. Hopefully, everything's all good. Also, forgot to mention, apparently his YouTube channel's been hacked as well, and it's being held ransom, which really sucks. So even after that 90-day period, I don't know if he'll even be able to stream on there again. So, we'll just see. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I really and truly appreciate it. Goodbye.